welcome. We're glad you decided to join us tonight. If you have any questions or you need schedules or anything, you can get that after the meeting.
Support group meeting guidelines. Thank you for attending the Race for Recovery support group meeting. We are focused on maintaining a drug-free and healthy lifestyle. Since 2001, our open forum meetings welcome parents, adolescents, recovering individuals, and anyone who supports our mission. Your suggestions, comments, or ideas are welcome to make our meetings the best they can be. The Racing for Recovery support group meeting is a cutting-edge alternative to what is currently offered. By combining substance abusers, families, friends, and the public at large, we have created an environment that is beneficial to everyone who has been affected by alcohol or drug addiction. 1, meeting start time is 7 p.m. Please be on time. Please turn off all cell phones or ringers to vibrate. Please refrain from posting on social media during the meeting to show respect and courtesy to yourself and others. Please, only one person speaking at a time. Please speak loudly so that everyone can hear. Proof of attendance is gladly provided. Please turn in your paperwork prior to the meeting, and you can pick it up at the end of the meeting. 5, honesty is required. 6, feel free to openly share your comments and points of view on how alcohol and drug addiction has impacted your life. 7, this meeting is open to people of all ages and welcomes diversity, so please refrain from using excessive foul language or language that discriminates against any race, gender, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or disability to maintain an atmosphere of respect and dignity for all who are present. 8, if you see a visitor, a new member, or returning member that you haven't seen in a while, please warmly welcome them into our program. 9, your confidentiality is important to us. What you say here will not be discussed outside of the meeting. 10, please refrain from leaving the meeting while it is in progress because it is disruptive to others. 11, smoking and vaping is no longer done on the premises. Please smoke like on the other side of the street there.
Or not at all.
Or not at all.
Right.
Yeah, just quit. 12, please dispense of all trash and garbage can. Do not litter on our premises.
Thank you, Mike. Who has the guidelines for living the lifestyles of Racing for Recovery?
Guidelines for living a lifestyle of recovery. The lifestyle of recovery guidelines are intended to be utilized by recovering individuals, their families, and anyone else who is striving to avoid substance abuse and achieve sobriety. Guidelines. 1, recognizing that substance abuse ruins lives. 2, wanting to pursue positive alternatives to substance abuse such as our education, employment, quality relationships, and health and fitness. 3, using resources such as friends, family, teachers, and peers as a way to achieve and remain sober. Adding sports, art, or music to these resources will help us stay focused and motivated. 4, defining balance and working toward making it a part of everyday life. 5, building self-esteem and confidence through sobriety to combat negative feelings regarding oneself. 6, understanding the negative behaviors of isolation and self-pity lead to self-destruction. 7, lifting a person up is different than allowing them to continue their destructive lifestyles. Be there for yourself and be patient with your friends and family. 8, learning how to help with supporting the addict's behavior, providing assistance to the recovering individual that will improve their lives, not further their usage. 9, recognizing personal challenges and integrating them in our lifestyle as challenges to triumph over. 10, caring for our personal, emotional, physical, and spiritual individuality is the source we use for our sense of worth. Each person is truly magnificent. Our mission at Racing for Recovery is to prevent all forms of substance abuse by promoting a lifestyle of fitness and health for all those affected by addiction.
Thank you, Ryan. Who has What Racing for Recovery Means to Me by Kelly Anderson?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff. Respect yourself enough to quit using. Accept the challenges that lie ahead. Commit to your recovery. Include friends and family on your journey. Never doubt your will to succeed. Give yourself credit for your accomplishments. Focus on the positive things you want in life. Overcome your fears and keep moving forward. Remember the reasons you are seeking sobriety. Reach out to others to give and receive support. Expect holes in the road. Choose another road. Care for your body. We only get one in this lifetime. Open your heart, mind, emotions, and spirit. Victory comes from a balanced lifestyle. Educate yourself on all aspects of recovery. Racing for Recovery saves lives. You will learn that with sobriety, anything is possible.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for introductions. We're going to go around the room. We want to know who you are and why you decided to join us tonight. You do not have to identify as an alcoholic and addict, but if that helps you in your own recovery, please feel free to do so, and we'll start with Dustin.
I'm Dustin. Keep coming around because this place helped me find myself in life. find my purpose, and like every day just keeps getting better and better, and couldn't ask for anything better.
I'm Connie. I'm the other Dustin's mom and his grandma, and I'm here to support him. And
I'm Jen. I'm with them. And we come because this is kind of like where we learned to be a family again. So I'm coming back here to get this back on the right page.
I'm Emlyn here for positivity and peer support, and because this is what works for me.
Kurt, I'm here for support.
I'm Mike. I'm here to help myself. This place gives me the tools to do that, and to hang out with my future son-in-law. Right here.
I'm Jessica. I'm just here for support. Christy here for support.
I'm Tyler. I'm here to continue my drive to keep on trying to do better.
I'm here to listen to work.
Michael, I'm here to change my life.
I'm Zoe. I'm here to love my life.
I'm Ashley. I'm here to continue to do what works.
Kevin, here to stay focused and stay sober.
Justin, here to stay on track. I'm James, and I'm here to maintain my sobriety.
I'm Tony, I'm here to remain teachable.
All here to stay determined.
Rick, I'm here for support.
My name is Keith. I'm here also for support.
My name is Tom. I'm here for continued guidance and the betterment of the
I'm Wesley. I'm here to learn to be a better man and to learn how to stick and stay.
My name is Chad, and I'm here to strengthen myself in all forms.
My name is Draven, and I'm here to improve my quality of life.
I'm Larry. I'm here because, well, for one thing, I haven't been to a meeting in a while, and I needed to come and see everybody, see some friends, see people I haven't seen in a while. And I'd like to ask you all something. Good friend of mine, I met her through Racing for Recovery. Just 3 days ago, she lost her daughter. She passed away from a very aggressive cancer. She's really struggling, and her family's hurting. So I'm asking everybody, if you could, before you go to bed at night, pray for her and her family. I'm sure it'll help them through this really hard time. Thank you.
I'm Ward. I'm here to listen and learn.
I'm Andrew, and I'm here to stay sober.
My name's Tim. I'm here for support.
I'm Logan. I'm here to continue learning and here because I want to.
I'm Andrea. Here to listen and learn.
My name is Bob. I'm here to listen, learn, and apply.
I'm Adam. I'm here to continue bettering my life.
I'm Heather. This is Xander. This is just what we do, man. It's part of our life. You guys are all like our big family. So we've got lots of uncles and aunts for this little one. And you guys just make my life work, so this is just part of what we do now. We love you guys.
We love you.
I'm Emma. I'm here because this place taught me how to love myself again.
I'm Kevin. I'm here to become a better person.
I'm Brandon. I'm here because this is what's working for me.
My name is Brian. I'm here because I love this place. Thank you.
My name is Dylan. I'm here to stay sober.
Justin here for support.
I'm Allie. I'm here to keep growing.
I'm Jessica, and I'm here to give and receive support. I'm Teresa, and I'm here to continue learning on this journey.
I'm Steve. I'm here to stay sober.
Amy, I'm here to focus on myself.
John, here to not isolate.
Josh, I'm here to listen.
Rick, I'm here to change.
Ryan, I'm here for support.
Kelly, I'm here for support.
My name is Josh. I'm here to stay focused.
I'm Kelsey. I'm here to keep an open mind.
I'm Jason. I'm here to learn new ways to maintain sobriety.
I'm Jesse, and I'm here because I want a better life.
I'm Tony, and I'm here for more knowledge.
I'm Nick, and I'm here to become the best person I can.
My name's Jeff. I'm here to stay sober.
I'm Jeff. I'm here to get my shit together.
I'm Steve, and this place holds me accountable. So
I'm Matt, and I'm here to stay in the right path.
I'm Candy, I'm here to stay focused.
I'm Zach, I'm here to remember what's at stake and keep working on myself.
Lorenzo, I'm here to continue improving the quality of my life.
I'm Chelsea, I'm here to better my life.
I'm Dakota, and I'm just happy to be here. Like, every day I'm growing stronger, every day I'm healthier, mentally and physically.
I'm Chris, and I'm here because it's the first place I feel like I truly belong.
I'm Ryan. I'm here to learn how to be honest with myself and others and stay sober and live a better life.
I'm John. I am here to keep pursuing my goals and dreams.
I'm Shelby. I'm here for positivity.
I'm Randall. I just come to these meetings because I love this book. I'm always learning something great out of it. And yeah, it's a good meeting.
I'm Des, and I'm here for growth.
I'm Levi, and I keep coming here because I understand how powerful it is and influential it's been to be dedicated to coming here. The dedication I have to coming here has changed my life. So that's why I'm here.
I'm Sarah. I haven't been here in a really long time, and I wanted to get Todd's new book because I've read the other ones.
Hi everybody, my name's Alex. I'm here to stay sober today.
And I'm Dustin, and I'm here for all of that, man. You guys said a lot of good things. And it's Monday. This is how I start my week every week for the past, however long it's been. And I don't know where else I can bring my family. And, I don't know. I just love this place. And we're not going to forget you. I wasn't going to skip you.
I'm Mike. I come for so many reasons. I love being here. I get a lot out of these meetings and love seeing everybody here. So.
Who's got the answer?
I do. The Answer by Donald D. Carr. Running from the misery, trying to escape the pain. As I approach the light of hope that lies before me, each step overwhelms me, every breath sears my throat. I ache, my body rebels against me, my memories torment me. Agony has become my closest companion. My demons mock me as I dangle helplessly above the abyss of alcohol and drug abuse. The voices all sound the same, criticizing, accusing, blaming me for what has happened. They don't understand, they don't care who I am. I'm a human being filled with thoughts and feelings. I'm worth saving. Just show me the way. At last I reach the light of promise. There stands the answer. Open arms, understanding smiles, looks of trust. And so it begins, racing for recovery.
Thank you, sir. Announcements? You got something?
Well, there's volleyball going on. Talk to me or Dustin after the meeting if you want to check that out. What?
I said that, Dustin.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about the volleyball.
Oh, yeah. So, it's on Tuesdays, usually in the evening, around like I think we leave at 5:15.
5:15.
So,
Levi, you driving the van now?
Yeah.
So, I think we can fit 12 in the van, and you drive.
I'll probably drive too.
So.
If you need some more information, just get with one of these guys after the meeting, and they will hook you up. Anything else? What's that?
Swimming.
Wednesday mornings.
Yeah.
Fridays.
Yeah, they're doing Fridays now too. All right.
I'll talk to you after if you want.
All right, we got 4 more books up here. If anybody needs a book. Everybody brought one today, huh? No, that ain't true. Here, one of you guys can use mine. Thank you. Yeah, and if my son gets loud, he does not mean any disrespect, man. He just likes to scream. Yeah. All right, as you can see from the introductions, our meetings are for everyone affected by self-destructive behaviors. No topic is off limits. That being said, if you have anything you want to talk about before we get into this book, good, bad, in between, go ahead.
So I have shared with some of you guys, obviously Xander has been coming in, learning how to be an IOPs, doing all these things. So I had a meeting 2 weeks ago. I told him that he can sit in a regular chair. He He's been in like a Ripton chair, which is like basically strapped in, safety too, but I was like, he can embrace a regular chair. So I got a picture message on Friday of him sitting in a regular chair, people, for the first time in school ever, okay, for 15 entire minutes.
I just wanted to say thank you to Todd, Dan, and everyone at Racing for getting us out of the red roof and the new room. It's definitely a lot better, so I just wanted to say thank you.
Perfect. Anything else? We are on, I think it's chapter 6, page 87 in the thinner one, and 179 in the thick one. The thick daddy. Yeah. Who wants to read? I'll start calling on people. Somebody raise their hand. Who took a book? Yeah, I know who just took books. Go ahead. Which one you got? Yeah. Yep.
I'm Lorenzo. Be patient with friends and family. I think it's better to be comfortable in your skin than to be miserable being who you are. Sure, life is horrible. It ruins people from the inside out. It's a waiting game. It's not a matter of it if it destroys you, but rather a matter of when it will. I gave a talk one evening, and afterwards I met with a young girl who was troubled. During our meeting, she told me that she had been writing essays about killing herself. This is not uncommon. Many addicts become so despondent over their repeated failures to become sober that they decide they aren't worth keeping around in this world. But after our meeting, this girl wrote an essay in which she said that she was starting to see hope. The key for this young woman was that she hadn't even get any support from her family. They failed to see how difficult quitting really is, and they came down on her. Hardly she failed again. This made her feel like a double failure. She let herself down and let her family down. If I hadn't caught up with her in time, it's likely she would have attempted suicide. It's hard to place the blame on family members, though, and the addict's behavior does damage to the family unit in untold ways. Conflict. You wind up in a constant fight, saying things that can't be taken back. Money problems. Addicts often lose their jobs because their behavior, absences, or showing up to work high or intoxicated. There may also be problems with compulsive spending or making bad financial choices. Emotional abuse. Screaming, profanity, belittling, assaulting, manipulating, all are common in families where addiction becomes the dominant force. Violence. Addicts and their family often engage in physical fights, leading to injuries and property damage. Infidelity. Damage to judgment and the feeling of being accused by your spouse can lead addicts to seek sex outside the relationship or turn to pornography or prostitution. Criminal activity. It's common for addicts to steal money or valuable objects from family members or other people they know. Drunk driving, fighting in public, and of course drug possession are other ways to end up before a judge. Shattered families. Addiction often leads to separation, divorce, and isolation from other family members, especially children. Drug addictions or alcoholism are considered defensible reasons to take your children away from you for their own protection. It's no wonder that as a person enters recovery, family members will harbor doubts, even hostility. The longer a person was addicted and engaged in destructive behavior, the deeper the doubts and hostility will be. That's why the recovery process must involve more than just you.
Thank you. All right. Now I know we all can relate to some shit that was said in there, so I'm expecting to see some hands. Not tonight, though. I would say probably not tonight. Go ahead. You can start us off perfect.
Yeah, for me, that's crazy. This is powerful to me, man. It's one of the main things I'm dealing with right now is family issues. A lot of regrets, a lot of things I've done, a lot of people I've hurt. Fortunately for me, I don't have much of my family in my life these days. I burned them bridges. It took a long time to get over it, but I finally realized, it was all my doing. My destructive behavior, my run-ins with the law, just taking the love for granted. Coming to family holidays and birthdays, just loaded. It also put a wedge between me and my children, caused me to be absent. Question for me, I just got my 6-year-old daughter back in my life recently because of my sobriety. I'm fortunate enough for that. Today's my son's 15th birthday, and it sucks that I'm not there, but I talked to him. He's just happy that I'm doing good. For me, a lot of things have fallen in place in my family, man. It's very important to me, something I struggle with, something that's really cuts deep. Been able to express it more now than I ever have been. It chokes me up a little bit, but for me, man, it's crazy that I just happened to pick this reading to read because it's something that's been coming up a lot, and something I'm actually starting to deal with. It's crazy how insane I was out there, how much I took I grew up with a really tight family, very traditional family. I'm talking every week, at my mom's house, cooking dinner, playing board games. I used to think it was kind of cheesy until I lost it. Then I lost it, man. Like I said, I took so much for granted, man. It sucked, man. It sucked. Kind of really caused me to spiral into my drug use even more. But I'm grateful that today that I realized, you know, to get better. There's still hope. They only want better. They only want what's best for me. They weren't going to give me the opportunity to bring that toxicity into their household. And for that, I can't really blame them. Man, in the long run, I guess it kind of gave me more motivation to do better, to stop feeling some resentment towards them. I know they love me, but they just had to love me from a distance until I was ready. And I'm just grateful that today I'm ready. And I'm really looking forward to, killing them relationships and getting back.
Get back to them board games.
Get back to them board games. Yeah, thank you.
That's good stuff, man. We got Ryan.
I was just gonna say I can relate with almost everything in this. Feeling like you're not good enough, not wanting to be around anymore. I've had a couple episodes of that, and then all these things that the addict does, I can relate to every single one of them. But the problem I'm having right now is getting some of my trust back from some of the people I hurt. And I know it comes a time, but it's really hard to try and prove yourself. You want it. I want it right now. I want it back because I know. I feel so much better now, and I'm thinking about everything I've done, and I know I can do better now that I'm sober. So I don't know. It's hard for me just to focus on right now when
It's patience is a tough thing, man. I know for me, I'm this time around when I got sober, that was the shit that I was trying to get back so bad, not the materialistic things. You guys have heard me talk about it before, the non-monetary things, the love and the trust. And like Ryan said, man, we want that shit back right away. We get 2 months in, we're like, look it, everything's better now, I'm fixed. And it's like, no, for me, I was fucking shit up for years, dude. They had no reason to just do that, and they're here, so I can't even lie about it.
Right.
Two of the people that supported me through all this shit, I've lied to them both, I've manipulated them both. It's even as long as I've been sober now, that the fact that they trust me as much as they do is a miracle, especially my mom. She's been through it since the beginning, and it was a long run before I got my shit together, and I look back just like you were saying, man, those are the times that I look back on and miss, the shit that I would try to duck out of at one point in my life, family get-togethers, stuff I was scared to go to. Now when I go to them, man, that's where that's where all my memories are now, that's the shit I look back on and regret, is missing some things like that, and I don't regret. Okay, there's things I wouldn't change my past because they brought me here, right? But the things I would change is the people that I hurt, I did stuff unintentionally, that unintentionally hurt other people. When I was doing it, I wasn't intending to hurt my mom or Jennifer or other people, but that was just the ripple effect from my bad choices. No amount of apologies I found, especially, because how often did I apologize when it didn't mean shit? So this time around I learned, like, you know, instead of running to them and like, hey, look what I'm doing, look at me, I'm fucking Captain Recovery, I just did my own thing. My actions spoke louder than my words. You know, through some consistency, some of that shit started coming back, a little bit of that trust, a little bit of that love, all that shit that I was striving for so soon. I just had to prove some consistency for a little bit, and gradually, you know, a little bit, and I don't blame them. You know, it's hard for me to speak for anybody on that side, but I know I would be hesitant to trust somebody who's burnt me on, you know, countless occasions. You know, whether that's just lying, stealing, manipulating. You know, I know I'm not alone in here, so go ahead.
I'm gonna come from the other aspect of like when we use the excuse that family members hurt us in the past too. We kind of talked about it in my group today, and I learned a lot today about like how we have to kind of grow and try to understand where they're coming from and what wrongs they've done and how they grew up and how they were raised if they weren't ready to be our parents or whatever. We definitely did a lot more self-destruction to ourselves and to the families that we built, but as far as like if we were ever hurt unwillingly and didn't choose the life that we did as children, then we still have to like be more mature and kind of understand where they're coming from and accept it and never give up, but just try to lead by example and hopefully help them out someday with whatever issues they have.
Hi, sorry, I was late. I got a ticket coming back from the candy store. Yeah, $220 total.
For Snickers.
But like I told the officer, he said, I'm gonna give you a break. I'm not gonna tow your car. I could have sworn I went and got my sticker in November. And that little light in the back, I had the red tape in the car. And I kept telling myself every day, I'm gonna get one of the guys with the red tape on the back of my light. And it's still in the car, and that was 110. So anyway, like I told the officer, I said, well, at least I wasn't drinking.
Right.
He kind of chuckled, and he said, yeah, that's a good thing. So they didn't tow my car. They could have towed the car. But anyway, I could really relate where it says here about the young lady. He talks about this is not uncommon. Many addicts become so despondent over their repeated failures to become sober that they decide they aren't worth keeping around in this world. I could really identify with that after several suicide attempts. You know, I just felt so hopeless. And each time I would go out, I'd build the structure up with a bright future. I'd just tear it down by a senseless series of sprees. And I like over here, I'm going to bring it back to these tickets, or this ticket I just got. It says here under money problems. It says there may also be problems with compulsive spending or making bad financial choices. Now, I've had the money to get that taillight fixed I don't know how many different times and didn't. I really thought I did get my sticker though. But, you know, I could have took one of them bottles of perfume that I bought and got my taillight fixed. It's for $70. But now I'm paying $110 and plus I'm going to have to pay $70 to get the light fixed. Just because I'm sober does not mean that my decision-making skills are perfect. I still need to grow in that area where I need to practice being a little more responsible because in the end it's all going to fall on me anyway if I don't. And with the conflict, I can really relate to that. My daughter would just go ballistic where she knew I was using and would say some pretty hurtful things. You know, but I caused that. You know, I used to think that I only hurt myself each time I picked up. But I've learned that I hurt also people that care about me because they don't want me killing myself with using drugs. You know, so I can really relate to a lot of what we read. And, with the children, not being able to see my grandchildren, for a while. I get to see them now. But again, because of my use, my poor choices, there were some consequences to that. And this is just a reminder, this ticket here, that I need to be a little more vigilant with my choices that I make. So I just can't believe I didn't get my sticker. That's age or too much on my mind, as Kirk would say. But anyway, I'm glad I'm here tonight, and it was good not to be scared when they stopped me, because I didn't have any dope on me or any paraphernalia, so, there was no paranoia. I figured it was the light. I didn't know about the other thing, but it just felt really good not to have to or stem, thank God. And I told him, I said, I didn't even have my purse, and my license was in my purse, and I said, if you want to, you can follow me right down to Racing for Recovery. My purse is in there. But he believed me. He says, I believe you. So, and wow, I'm not crying over it. That's some growth. I mean, with me just moving, I'm broke. But that's okay. I guess I'll be broke next month, too, because I got to pay these dang tickets. So, but it's just good to be here at a meeting and be able to laugh at myself. And not cry, but I'm sure when I'm paid that money, I might be singing another song. But anyway, I love this way of life. It keeps getting better. God has truly been good to me, because one of those attempts at suicide, I should have been dead, especially with the gun. And it didn't go off because it didn't have a clip in it. I didn't know anything about guns. I just figured if I just aim it and pull it, that it'd go off, and nothing happened. But silly me, no clip. I know. So anyway, God is good. He protects me from myself. And with that, I'll pass.
Thank you. Go ahead, man.
I like the part where they say that the girl's, struggling because she failed again. She felt like her family came down on her really hard for failing again. She didn't have the support of them, and I get that. I've been there, especially this time. I've done this 3 or 4 times, and this time I got my wife's there and 2 of my daughters, but the rest of the family, dad, sisters, all of them. Do this by yourself, man. We're tired of being let down. My 19-year-old daughter won't be around me right now because she don't want to set herself up for failure. So be let down. And I get that, and I used to do the same thing. Why won't you help me? You guys don't know how hard it is to get sober. But I got to step back and remember, I put myself in this seat. I was in the same chair last year at the same fucking time. I don't have to. I can still be here, but I didn't have to go back and do the shit I did. Yeah. I got everything I deserve for making the poor choices that I made. So I got to remember that I can't blame my family for anything that's going on in my life right now. They didn't do this to me. I did. So I just got to remember that every day. Even though it's hard to not have them all the time, I just got to step back and remember how much I hurt them. And by me hurting them the way I hurt, I did, that's hurting me so bad right now. Because I didn't have to be without them. I made the choice to do this.
Yeah. I know there was a time when I was using that I felt like that. I felt like people were abandoning me and didn't care about me, but really they were just protecting themselves. I've done so much damage to them that anything that they were going to do to try to help me, I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I wasn't in a state of mind to be helped. I wasn't going to help myself, so it didn't matter how much anybody else tried to help me. I wasn't going to do it. And but there was a time where I felt like I never felt suicidal or anything, but like it more so gave me like the fuck it's, okay, they already think I'm messing up, like why not just keep messing up, and it wasn't until I got sober that I realized, people just backed away because they weren't going to support my negative behavior. It's not because they didn't care about me. It's not because they didn't love me. This is family and friends, that support me 100% now. You know, you see my mom, everybody's here with me. If I was still drinking and shit, they sure as fuck wouldn't be following me around like this. And, you know, it wasn't until I got sober that I realized that when people were, what I thought, like, abandoning me and leaving me out to dry, was they just weren't supporting my negative behavior, you know? And, I don't know. Go ahead, man.
It's a pretty heavy part in the book, I think. At least for me it is. So I definitely did like a lot of damage to my family, like, you know, especially my mom, my dad, my kids for sure. I like what Chris brought up, the empathy thing. You know, I think is pretty much sums up for me what I got to do, like, to get through some of that. I just need to realize what I put them through simply and give them time. Like Todd says, be patient, and I just need to remember to do that. You know, and my family pretty much cut me off at like a certain point. I can kind of remember, you know, once they really started seeing how bad things were getting, and it was pretty clear what I was up to. You know, the rent money that I needed wasn't going to rent. You know, some pretty simple things. Yeah, rent twice a month. Yeah. And I feel like there was a lot of decisions that they made that probably saved my life. You know, like I remember being so upset and angry, and like there was probably even a couple times where I might have used that money for like my rent or whatever, but I had spent all my other money on stuff that I wasn't supposed to be spending my money on, and it just would have enabled me. And you know, that gets brought up a lot here, and it's a lot in the book too. And I feel like it definitely saved my life so many times when they just decided to financially just cut me off simply, and I had to struggle. And I remember it was some pretty scary moments there. I was losing my car. I had title loans out and payday loans out, and all, you know, just the gambit of like all of the financial disaster that my life had become, and just all the disconnect, like Ryan talked about, with not showing up for things. Just almost every family thing, I was sick, you know, or I had a headache or whatever. I had a migraine and for 3 days or something. It's crazy, man. Like I'll never get that time back, you know. I'll never get those moments. But I can create them now, you know, and I can show up to events, and I can be there now, and that's what's important. And little by little, you know, my daughter's starting to text me back now. I'm seeing "I love you" from her back finally, after months and months of texting and not really seeing anything, you know. And that's just like that's a win for me. Like, sure, having like 60 days or 90 days or 120 days is great, but having that, like, those are my like moments, you know. It's right, like those are my milestones right there, you know. And those moments propel me to get to the next phases and the next steps in my life. But yeah, I think this is like a really important topic. It's like those are some of the most hardships I think I'll have to go through within myself, is remembering and thinking about like some of the stuff I put my family through, and it's also some of the most rewarding things that I think I'll experience and that I have experienced, is seeing those text messages start to come back, and being trusted to go and watch my son for 4 hours while she's at work or something like that. Like those are the moments right there for sure. If anyone's struggling, or just give it time, dude. Just stay in it. Stay in it. Yeah. Just don't give up. It'll come. It'll come. So
I agree with about everything you said. You know, I hate the word enablers. I think that's horseshit in my opinion, because anybody that like enabled me was either, I'm going to use my mom as an example because she's sitting here. You know, she never did anything for me that, yeah, she didn't know what she was doing was fueling or adding to my drug use. I manipulated and used her love in order to make gains for myself. And she's not the only one. My dad and my sisters and my friends, I did that. So like when enabling, they're more victims of our manipulation, in my opinion. You know, they weren't, I mean, me personally, none of my family was giving me money where they thought, you know, like, alcohol or drugs with this. It was like rent or my heat's out, or, you know, I was manipulating their love for me in order to benefit my current status, which at that time was drugs and alcohol. So I don't know why, I just felt like I needed to say that about the whole enabling thing. my rant on that. Chad?
Yeah, since trying to get my life together and get clean, I was my own punching bag, you know, because you don't really start to feel what you've done, the impact on the people that you've affected until you start to get clean. I mean, it's like it might be brief during your active use, but you really can't feel it. And you really, you know, it's like you outside of yourself, watching yourself do stuff that you don't want to do. And it's crazy because I had to realize that, you know, I had to give myself the benefit of the doubt, you know, and it sounds kind of like a cop out to somebody else that I said it to, and I said, now why did you do this to me? You know, why did you do all that to me, and why did you say that stuff? Because I'm an addict, and I was under the control of something that don't even got the capacity to think. Like, and that's what really made me want to straighten up. Is because I'm dealing with something that can't even. It's outthinking me, and it don't even have a brain. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit was like running me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you know. So she was like, "That's just such a cop out," but it's actually the truth. You know, if all of us who've ever gotten high before, it hijacks your mind. It hijacks you. You're not even running off you no more. You running off of pure adrenaline, dope, all that. Like I just have a need for something. I have to have it. My body wants it. My mind wants it. My heart wants this. You know what I mean? And the point where I had actually got to a certain point where, you know, I said, I never fuck over my friends. I never fuck over my family. You know, people that I care about. Anybody else, you on the menu. But one day I was coming in the house, you know, after a binge. And my mama was up waiting on me. You know, the sun had just came up, so it's got to be like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, and I was surprised to see my mama woke still. You know, I was like, oh, she's still doing woke. And it's like we had this conversation without actually saying it, though. And she was like, she said, you all right? I said, I'm all right. She said, you want something to eat? I said, I need something to eat. You know, she know I done been up all night on one, ain't ate nothing, ain't slept, ain't did nothing. And she said, well, I made you something. It's in the oven for you. And she went in there and she took a shower. And I looked on her bed. I had never took anything from my mom. It had to be like 70, 80 bucks on her bed. And I looked at it. I had already decided I was going to stop, only because I was broke and I ran out of money. I smoked up all the money. But I see it on her bed. I'm like, man, you know, one more hurrah. You know, it wouldn't be too bad right now. And it broke me down to tears, just thought of me taking something from my mom. You know what I mean? Because that's when I started to question. My morals were in question after that. You know, I realized that it was turning up a notch on me. My addiction was progressing. You know, that I even considered stealing from my mom. You know, I didn't care if she knew or not. I said, I'll be going out the door by the time she's out the shower. And when she got out the shower, I just told her, I'm like, I gotta go. And she was like, well, where you going? I knew where I was going, but I didn't tell her, and I thought that the time for talking was over. I said, I'm just gonna do something, and you'll see. You know what I mean? And, but yeah, it's easy to beat ourselves up about this, you know, because you start to feel stuff. You start to feel everything. You know what I mean? And I didn't feel nothing while I was out there. I was just like a zombie. So I did some research, and it said that one full night without sleep, your brain doesn't operate for 3 whole days because of that one night. And y'all know how many nights we done stayed up? I did 3, 4, 5 days, start seeing stuff and all types of. So after that, you technically insane for real. Like you walking insane. You a zombie. Like so, like. You know, I don't know. I encourage everybody to just try to, you know, give yourself a break a little bit. Don't beat up on yourself too much. You know, because we was not in a good state of mind, a good state of thinking. You know, so that part of the book, I definitely can relate to it because it shows you how bad it can get. You know, and it gets worse. You know, and that's what I gotta remember when it comes to recovery. Because when I think about drugs, I can speak for myself. I only can think about the euphoria of it. I can't think about all the bad that's attached to it until it attaches itself to it. So, you know, as long as I can continue to play the tape through, I think I'll be all right. Thank you.
Yeah. That's something I used to struggle with, is that I would forget all the bad shit. I'd have like amnesia of jail and prison and handcuffs and all the shit that came with my drug use. And, you know, I had those moments of glorifying the shit. Oh, that was fun. it always starts, anytime I ever went back before I got sober this time, it was like, it starts off like, okay. But then by the end, it's a shitstorm. You know, I'm in a halfway house or ankle monitor or Lucas County Jail or fucking prison. It's never ended good for me. And it wasn't until I made that choice, like, look, I'm sick of jail cells and handcuffs and flip-flops in showers. You know, I want to shower barefoot. I want to sleep at home. You know, I want to see my son. I want to watch him grow up. I want to be an example to him so he doesn't sit in these seats where I had to sit. You know, the best way to do that is to set an example. He sees me doing the right shit the whole time he's growing up, he's got a better chance of not doing the wrong shit. I've already done all that shit for him. Sitting in this room now, making my life better, which in turn makes me a better dad, better suited to raise him. I don't want him to go through this. You know? I hear people in here, and I feel for you when they say they can't see their kids. I couldn't imagine not seeing my son. I have empathy for you. I'm just saying, like, I learn from everybody in here. You know, I couldn't imagine not seeing my son. You know, that's one of those things that it's that catalyst to my sobriety. It's one of those things that just keeps me going in the right direction. It's him. Like, it's wild. And it's like, I can't imagine life without him anymore now that he's here. It's like, beforehand, it was just me. You know, it didn't matter what I did. You know, it wasn't hurting nobody but me. Now it's like, I got a family. And those compulsion, I think Elena was talking about it, that compulsion. You know, I'm 31 years old and I still don't know how to manage my money. That's because for the last 15 years straight, I didn't even look at money as money. I was blowing it. Nothing ever mattered. I still have a problem with it. I still buy shit I shouldn't. And Jennifer, what's this? Shoes and softball bats and all types of shit I really probably shouldn't be buying. But, you know, that's part of that you know. Right. Yeah. He agrees. That's part of that shit that I'm still learning. You know, as long as I've been sober, I'm still learning to make better decisions. You know, I don't drink or use drugs anymore, but I'm still learning to better myself every day. You know, and these meetings help. I hear what other people say, and even if it's bad, I was like, well, that didn't work for him. Like, I can just skip even trying that because I saw where that got him. You know, so. Who was it? All right, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's real quick. I just want to say it, man. I think it's freaking awesome. You got your kids and your family here. Heather, I think it's great, man. Bring her kids, like, that drives me, that motivates me so much more. Because, like I said, I took my kids for granted. You know, having abandonment issues that I have, beat myself up forever for abandoning my children. Doing the same thing that I was bitching about my father and my mother did to me. And that's, when I came in here, I know they say you don't do it for your kids. I don't do it for my kids, but they're my biggest motivation. Yep. And I think that's freaking awesome, man. Your family is there, and I'm just trying to let you know that right there, that gives me hope. That gives me something to work for, something to cherish, man, to hold tight to. And man, I'm just every day I'm amazed by the things that I see in this program. You know, and it took me a long time to clear my head, to get out of it. You know, I always put the blame on my family. I blame them for abandoning me and not being there for me. But little did I realize, like, I was the one that chose not to be at the family outings. And when I did come, I came loaded. Or I like to, you know, to use their love, like you said, to manipulate, benefit myself. I used to try to say, I never asked my parents for no drug money. No, but I spent my money on drugs knowing that I could ask my parents for help if I needed. Yeah. And it's just crazy how we justified, or I justified, using them and taking advantage of them and just taking them for granted for so long. And here I was when I finally got clean. Poor me. I miss my family, ready to break down and cry every time I talk about them. And I just think it's fucking awesome, dude. Like, seriously, man. You know, I envy you right now.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. You got you just got to put some consistency in it, man. All that shit comes back.
It's coming together though, quick. Like I said, man, it's fucking awesome, man. My 16-year-old daughter, man, I haven't seen her in 10 years, and Mike kind of hit a spot whenever he said, you know, his daughter's telling him she loves me. It's like last night I caught myself telling her I wanted to say I love you, like I would my boys, but it was so weird that I hesitated, and it's like, That's fucked up. And you hesitate to tell your own children that you love them because you haven't, I don't even know how she would react or if she'd say it back or, would it hurt my feelings if she didn't say it back. But I'm being patient and just keep going, man. Like, seriously.
I've made it this long sober this time because when I came in, I did it for me. I wasn't doing it for the state of Ohio. I wasn't doing it for my mom. I wasn't doing it for Jennifer. I wasn't doing it for Kai. I was doing it for me. But that in turn, me making the best me makes me a better father, makes me a better friend, makes me a better boyfriend, makes me a better son, brother. The list goes on. If I'm happy and I love who I am, that shit spreads. That makes me a better father. So yeah, I am doing this in sense for my son and for the relationships I have with my family, but it starts with me. Every other time before that, I was doing it for somebody else. I was doing it because they were on my case. Get to some meetings. So I go act like I was doing the steps for fucking 6 months, and I never was. I never participated in my own recovery. Not until this time. And it's worked out for me this far. Fortunately, I already had a little bit of time before my son was born of sobriety. Her water broke right there in the meeting, a Thursday night meeting one night. And we went to the hospital straight from here, and he was born. And yeah, it's wild, dude. It's wild, man. He was almost born in this. It was crazy. But Wes, what you got, man?
Trust and love is, you gotta earn it. When I choose to pick up, I lost all my rights to ask anything for anything. You know what I'm saying? This right now is like it's one of the hardest things I'm having to do. Because I'm doing it for me. But it's like I don't know about nobody else, but I'm used to family, significant others. I'm hugging, kissing. That just love. Just how you doing today? The closeness of a family unit. So it's like it ain't there. Like my mother and my sister, they stay in Philadelphia. My ex, she in Michigan. My daughter's in Michigan. But now my daughter, she gonna love me no matter what I do. I could do anything. She gonna love me whatever. No matter what I do. She's like 18, and I took her to a meeting before, and she'd sit next to me, and she just put her head on my shoulder. She don't care. So like I see your son over there, like Lorenzo was talking about, enjoy it, man. That's something that you can't get that back. You can't get time back, And I was a hard head. I miss some stuff, but I also was there for some stuff, So, I mean, it's like, how can I explain it? You know how they talk about different stuff you have done, like, my ex, she's like Johnny on the spot. She ain't answer her phone with her, so she at work, so she get off work at 12. So I'm talking to her, I'm like, well, just call me when you get to the car. And she always got her phone, so she ain't called. It's like, 12:30, she ain't called. And about an hour went past. I'm calling the house phone, and I'm calling her phone, and I'm like, man, what the? I think she got snatched up or whatever, because she worked at Ford's, and they got the big parking lot there. So anything could have happened, right? I'm going crazy. I'm like, man, and I got in my vehicle, shot her to her job, and was going to ask the security guard that she leave. Now I'm finna track her down, because I don't know what did happen to her, right? Then she come pulling up, because she had to go check something else. But she had left her phone in the car. I'm like, I've been calling you for an hour, but, man, the feeling I got was like, I guess, okay, now I know how she feel when I leave. You know what I'm saying? Because when I use, I'm gone. You ain't gonna see me. You don't know if I'm dead, alive, or whatever. So I got a little taste of that. It didn't feel good. So family is everything. So it's kind of just my family, like my father, they be called. They call, but they like them being there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm doing it because I ain't letting nothing stand in my way right now. I'm on a mission, a straight mission. You know what I'm saying? To get this right and to do it.
You know, we have all the cars, the houses, all that stuff. I'm gonna get that. And had it done. I'm 55 years old. If I ain't had no cars and houses by now, something wrong anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna come. I get it easy. I'm gonna go be able to keep it though this time.
Yeah, about keeping it, right?
Am I gonna be able to keep it? You know, so that's my thing. That's what I'm here for. Learn how. So I say stick and stay. I gotta stay. I had 5 years clean, 4 years, 2. You know, I ain't gonna keep going into what I've been doing this since the early 90s. But anyway, that's where I'm at. But I can relate to everything that was. You know, this last time I was one of them type persons that that ain't gonna happen to me. That ain't gonna happen to me. I know what I'm doing. Shit, it happened to me. I OD'd. And it wasn't fitting on. I OD, I was gone. If the girl would have came in the room and found me, you wouldn't be talking to me. This happened about 4 months ago. You know what I'm saying? So it happened. That you know, that if. So I can relate to to everything. Man, family is everything. But you got to earn it. It's not given. You lose our rights when we go use. When I say we, I'm gonna say me. You know, if you can relate, you lose all your rights. You can't ask your girl shit. Nothing. You can't ask your mama nothing, sister, daddy, nothing. You lose all your rights. Because I chose to go do that. You know, so. But I know they love me. It ain't like they give me tough love. This ain't the first rodeo. I'm putting tough love on myself. I ain't reaching out. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to share. Thanks.
Good stuff. A couple things that I learned was that with trust and love, man, those are like the hardest things to gain, and they're the easiest things to lose. Right? One choice, one decision by me can lose all of that. You know? And it takes work to gain that shit back. So it's easier to maintain that trust and love than fucking up and trying to get that shit back. Because it'll go just a split second. And he got to talking about time, and it made me think, you can always make more money, man. You know, like time, there ain't nothing you can do. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, you know, work and money and all that shit will always be there. But you can't replace time or missed memories, you know. Like what Mike was saying a little bit ago, like I don't like sobriety time. I don't keep track like that, but like there's things that I remember, you know, like when my son turned 1 or he starts talking, like those little things. To be around that means more to me than anything, man. It's fucking wild, and I'm just glad I made a decision to be able to be around and enjoy that shit, man. It's stuff that you can't buy. You know what I mean? That's that shit, man. That's the board game, man. You know what I mean? All right, who's got the autobiography? Nobody else had their hand up, right? I didn't think so. I was random. Go ahead, man.
Autobiography in 5 short chapters by Portia Nelson. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost, I'm hopeless, it isn't my fault, it takes forever to find a way out. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it, I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault, it takes a long time to get out. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there, I fall in again. It's a habit. My eyes are open, I know where I am. It is my fault, I get out immediately. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it, I walk down another street.
Thanks for coming, everyone!